What is up, guys? Armchair Tuna back again with another video, and in today's Halloween themed video, I'm going to go over the top 5 creepiest locations in Grounded. But before we get into this spooky video, what is your guys' favorite creepy location in Grounded, as it could have made it onto this list? So starting out with the first creepy location of today's video, it is the milk carton located at the top right of the lower yard. This location has a ton of hostile insects, with it having orb weavers, bombardier beetles, and mosquitoes. And this location brings a lot of mystery to it, as it reveals some of the kids that were most likely kidnapped by Omnant before the main game takes place. Another interesting fact about this location is that your character will comment about this location when you discover it for the first time. Take a listen.
Those poor missing kids. I wonder if they could be trapped in the yard like me. Hello? Anyone out there?
So, yeah, in this case, or Willow's case, she starts shouting out to see if there are any more kids in the yard. So this is quite a creepy location to come across. For the next location, which is not far away from the milk carton at all, it is going to be the berry lab in the stone wall. Before you even enter this location, you have to open the extremely damaged sliding door of the lab with a bomb, which already brings some mystery as to what has happened here. Upon going into the lab, the entirety of it is pitch black, meaning you will have to use a torch to see where you are going. And upon navigating through the twisting hallway, you will find that the entire lab is in disarray, with furniture flipped and berry splatters everywhere, as well as the only entrance to the lab being blocked by dirt. Down in the lab, you can find the pinchwhacker, which is just a Tazy T arm, and the rotten berry charm. However, there is one thing that stands out in the lab, with that being in the window viewing into the lab. You could see there are a few test tubes, with one of them having a mutated berry inside of it. Looking into it, it may seem that these berries could have been one of Burgle's side projects, with it being stated in the hedge lab on a whiteboard with a berry with teeth, and a note saying Burgle stop this, seemingly written by Dr. Wendell Tully to make Burgle stop doing these experiments. For the third creepy location of today's video, it is the Undershed. While some people might not find the Undershed scary by itself, it is because of the fact that it is almost pitch black and almost impossible to navigate the area without a torch, as well as the whole area itself being in no man's land with highly dangerous insects roaming there at all times, and the terrain being difficult and sporadic to traverse, with the chance of falling into the unknown at any moment. The only safe areas are the lab you fight the Mant in, and the smaller lab that acts as a introduction to the Undershed. For the next location, or locations in this case, are going to be the various skeletons you can find around the yard, with each skeleton you come across telling a gruesome and brutal tale of what happened to that person beforehand. I won't go into full detail of each skeleton, but I will show the most brutal. For example, one skeleton that can be found northeast of the upper yard ascent, you can find the unfortunate demise of somebody against the rocks. Judging of how this person died and the wildlife near them, it's safe to assume that either this person got into a scuffle against a roly-poly and seemingly got brutally crushed against the rocks, or got impaled by the spikes of a ladybird larva and left to die against the rocks. Another skeleton that is located in the WASP Queen's arena shows that this person used to work for Omninent. More specifically, got orders from Director Schmechter to put some sort of meal in the WASP Queen's chamber and put a orc receiver on her to control the wasp. But unfortunately, the plan went horribly wrong, and this resulted them getting impaled by the stinger of the WASP Queen and left to bleed out. And for our final location of today's video, it is the oldest, but by far still the creepiest out of the entire game. It is the Ant Totem Cave. Despite the fact it is the oldest and most well-known out of all these locations, the location itself is a reference to the game The Forest, with ant heads impaled on spikes and a weird ant shrine on the wall. However, picking up the journal tells a much more grueling story. It is explained by a person named Stava B, would rather spend his Thanksgiving with the ants that are in the yard rather than his co-workers, as he describes them as being jerks. However, this story is expanded past the journal, as it could be apparent that this person may have snapped and went on an ant-killing massacre and fashioned weapons from the ants. But what if I told you that this story got even more darker? In older builds of the game, there is actually a skeleton behind the root next to the lean-to, and the ant shrine doesn't just have ant parts, it also has human bones as well. It is unknown why they changed this, and it went pretty off the radar as nobody talks about it, but we could probably assume that it was due to Grounded's target audience. Well, that was it. If you all enjoyed this Halloween-themed video, please make sure to like and subscribe and hit the bell to know when I next upload. Anyways, guys, peace